history has tended to move people toward mutual acceptance, you might say. In other words, the moral compass has expanded over time. If you compare us to the time back when people in one hunter-gatherer village thought the people in the next village were subhuman. That doesn't mean that continued progress is guaranteed. Okay, what is guaranteed, and this is what's interesting to me, and this is what leads me to think that it's not crazy to say that there's some larger purpose with a moral dimension unfolding through human history. What's interesting to me is that the way history seems to kind of be set up, although I know set up is kind of a biased term because I'm not sure that anybody or thing set it up, but the way the system works is that if people don't make the moral progress, they pay a price. Okay, so right now in the history of the world, if people in the different Abrahamic faiths, Islam, Judaism, Christianity, don't get better at accepting one another, don't get better at tolerance, it could be really bad for the world on an epic scale. It could be, we could be talking about the collapse of the society. And I think this is built into the system, and we've seen it time and time and time again, that history forces people to either expand their moral compass or pay the price. And so all I can say for sure is that, for pretty sure, is that I think the salvation of the world, in the sense of just holding the system together, having some degree of peace and order, depends on further moral progress. That doesn't mean that the outcome will be good, but it's interesting to me that the system drives us toward this point where we either make the moral progress or we pay the price. So, and this is actually reminiscent of something that various biblical prophets were kind of saying in one sense or another, and not just biblical prophets. I mean, I would say Muhammad, I would say Abrahamic prophets in general. A common message is to say that salvation is possible so long as you align yourself more closely with the moral axis of the universe. Now, usually these prophets, they didn't use the term moral axis of the universe, of course, they used the term God, but they did think of God as the moral axis of the universe. And I would say that even now, even if you're secular, you could still say that the salvation of the world, in this concrete sense of holding it together, is going to depend on humanity aligning itself more closely with the moral axis of the universe. If you agree with me that that axis involves things like acceptance of people who are different from you and overcoming, prejudices and biases and so on.